Hi, this is Eric Martin with Board Game Geek. I'm here with Rob Davio.
Yeah, you said it right.
I was just emphasizing. I like the sound of that. It's
W.
like a call out in there. From Restoration Games, with not a new version of Fireball Island.
This is our prototype,
This is your prototype.
Well, the prototype is the old version, because that's how we work with Restoration Games.
All right. That's a good way to think of it.
Yeah.
There. Okay.
Yeah, we just announced this yesterday. This was our, we started the company a year ago, and people can go to Restoration Games and various other places and say, please make X. Sometimes you get some really out there ones.
Yes.
But the one that rose to the top by a lot was Fireball Island. And so we spent better part of 6-9 months tracking down the license, waiting, going back and forth, figuring it out. We signed the contract a couple months ago, have started work on it. And so we're going to take this game, which was a great game for kids in the 80s, and now we're going to say, we're going to try to talk to those kids as an adults to make it a great game for them and their kids.
You have grown up, and
you have grown up.
Your game has grown up as well.
So I was a little old for this game when it came out.
Right.
I was a teenager.
That's right. I never played. It was. I think I had passed the time.
Right. So at its heart, it was you start here and you go along and you go up and you steal a gem and then you run and you escape.
All right.
And there was some roll and move, and then along the way, of course, you would get fireball, which sometimes, like that guy just had his knee crushed. Sometimes you get shoved. Sometimes you really get walloped, right? And you get roll. And it was just a lot of.
Came back for more.
Yeah.
All right.
The guy's just bleeding out in a ditch. And so I don't have them out here, but there were some bridges, and then you would put marbles down the water, and it would hit the bottom of the bridge and knock people over. And a lot of people have very, very fond memories of this game. So the trick is we have to make the game as good as they remember.
But not how it actually was.
Not how it actually was. That's the whole thing. Is they probably, because they were kids, they remember it as being twice as big as this, twice as tall as this. The marbles going down at like some phenomenal death rate. Now we can't do all of that.
That's right.
But we're going to do.
Well, that's because you probably had your face close to the board.
Your face close to the board, and this would have been big. Like, get that off the table. We're eating dinner.
All right.
So it's still a large tray. It's one big sort of plastic molded tray with printed on it, which is kind of revolutionary at the time. But if you get close now, you see that the printing's a little like 1980s. It was great for what it was, but our whole thing is we restore them and bring them back and make them new and fresh. So our new version is called Fireball Island, Curse of... Well, there's an idol that goes here. We don't like to say his name because he shows up in your dreams. But if you look it up, you'll be able to find it.
Okay.
And we're going to change some things around like we do with Restoration, probably get rid of the roll and move. There's some cards in there. It's a little hard to tell when you can use them and when you can't, but we still want surprises.
Right.
I would like more surprises in the marbles in the sense that I know that this marble is going to go down here and end up there, but if there was a branch, if there was a switch, I want a little bit more.
Right.
Yeah. A little bit more of that kinetic death machine.
Okay.
Yeah, that people will lovely vacation in.
Dynamic lava.
Dynamic lava. Actually, we do think it has a decided lack of bees and or tigers and or pirates, right? Like, we're not sure. Like, we have a lot of thoughts of what we could do with marbles and kinetics and physics and everything like that to sort of bring it back up. Ultimately, it's a fun, light game.
Okay.
So it's not going to be the type of game where it's not going to turn into like Fireball Island, the Russian Railroads expansion, which is a game that I love, right? But if I'm like doing like, if there's anything about placing workers or engine building, might be in the wrong place here, but we still want to make it something that you feel like you're in control and you made smart decisions and that's why you won, or you made smart decisions and would have won, but that marble took a funny hop.
Okay.
And he took you out.
Okay.
And that's where we are.
Any timeline, or you just get started, or?
We have a cost in. There's this interesting triangle where this is the heart of the project.
Right.
We had to figure out how to make it.
You have to know. You
how
have to
know
do
how
all
it plays.
The work, beforehand to figure out.
You have to know how it plays,
possible.
so that you know how to design the island so that it fits your gameplay.
Yes.
But you can't really test the gameplay till you have an island, so you know you're going to be wrong. But most importantly, you need to make sure that the costs are right.
Yes.
But you can't talk to the factory and get a cost until you have a picture of the island, which you can't draw until you have the gameplay, which you can't perfect until. And we've been doing that triangle, which is great. So now we found something that we think is close enough.
Okay.
So we put in for a cost and a quote. We met with the manufacturer here at Gen Con. They went over some questions. Hopefully next week we get the ballpark.
Okay.
And if that's good, we've got Noah Adelman, from the guy who does the game trays.
Right.
He did Mechs vs. Minions, the trays in there, and all sorts of. This is his set. This
Okay.
was his childhood set, and he loves it. He's like a thermoformed plastics Yoda. And we are going to unleash him to start making the island as soon as the cost is settled in, which hopefully is this week. So this could come together pretty quickly, and we might even do a Kickstarter in November. But it could go into January or February if, we have to keep doing that little circle of cost and gameplay. And
Right. You can do that. Yeah, I'm trying to imagine, lots of people do 3D printing now for sort of things. And that's not...
This is not 3D printing
because
it's hollow underneath.
Right, but I'm just saying,
Yeah, so
I don't know how possible that would be to
Well, Noah can do it.
print this.
Noah can make a unprinted version.
Okay.
Also, the really cool thing, he was showing us in his 3D modeling program, he added a new addition, which was a physics engine where you can put a marble down and have it roll down the virtual thing and be like, oh, that's a little fast.
Hills.
Or like, oh, we wanted that bump to go 50% left and 50% right, and it's almost always going left, so let me move it and run it again. Like, okay, now it's 50-50. So hopefully we can do a lot of the experimenting and prototyping of just the physics in the virtual space.
Which, when in the 80s, just probably not
No, I'm sure
as
they
easy.
actually had a piece of clay, and they just removed the clay and then worked on it, and then they made a mold from the clay that they used to make this.
Okay.
So it was like that very like old-fashioned like scraping and things like that. So we got new tools, new way to think about gameplay. There's a lot of fondness. A lot of people are coming up and being like, "This was my childhood memory." So I'm asking a lot of people like, "Well, why? What did you like? What did you remember? What do you want to see come back?" Which is a really fun thing to do in restoration. It's not brand new. We're playing off memories and nostalgia, so we can ask people like, "Well, what do you want to see?" Which is another reason we didn't get too far ahead on the design, because if we were wrong and we were like, no one wants marbles, we wouldn't be that wrong. But,
Yes.
and then we find out that that's what people wanted the most, it would be too late. So we kind of get it to a certain point and then invite people to give comments and feedback.
All right, there we go. So, overview of Fireball Island. There's a subtitle.
The Curse of...
You know.
The Curse of, yeah.
You know who.
You know who.
Except not that.
Yeah, different you know who.
That's right. No,
Yeah.
Not him, the other guy.
Yes,
The
the other,
title gets a
this
little
one,
longer.
yeah. He got mad, his gem was stolen in the 80s, and so
He's taken a while to notice,
he's
apparently.
a little temperamental.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe he's like a little asleep in the chair. Oh, wait.
Wait.
What was that? Oh, yes.
There he is.
My thing was missing. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you.